Hey, what's going on everyone? I'm the OPJellicent and I'm team building here for my final week in the IBL D-League's regular season. So for those of you who may have followed the season, you probably already know I've secured the first overall seed, as well as a first round playoff bye, and because of that, last week I actually had some fun and went ahead and built a team with only damage reducing berries on it. This week I actually made the restriction harder because it is the final week right here, and I ended up building this team on a 10-minute timer right here, so I literally set a timer on, and I ended up building the team in 10 minutes, so it should be fun to see whether it can go ahead and come through right here. Definitely something I wanted to do for a couple of reasons, just because I want to see whether it works obviously, but I also don't want to reveal my playoff strategies against mid, because I could battle him in either the second round or the finals, depending on how this match goes right here, so I really don't want to reveal a ton right here, so hopefully we can go ahead and have some fun. Let's go ahead and talk about his roster first right here. He has Z Garchomp, which is probably his best stealth rocker against my team right here. That and Necrozma I think are the two best ones. He could slap it on Miltank too, but Garchomp obviously a big threat. I do dive with Landorus T to a +1 devastating Drake, and honestly, I think Special Garchomp's better than Fizdef, physically offensive against my team, just because Draco is super spammable, and he can go ahead and run, like, I guess HP Steel or Ironhead on a mixed stat to go ahead and check my Deontay too. That would be one of my better pivots, because obviously I would run Sugar Berry, right, just to help out against the Garchomp and the Darmanitan right here, and Sugar Berry Deontay is kind of an obvious bring, so I could definitely see him doing something like that. Garchomp, just gotta keep it in mind, obviously super offensive Pokemon. Alolan Ninetales right here could definitely be an Auroraville setter, although he does have some setup to take advantage of it. I guess Celesteela and Necrozma could be setup Pokemon with Autotomize, and I guess Agility Zapdos would be his other form of setup, but other than that, it's kind of pressured by a lot. Weavile with Poison Jab can go ahead and just knock that out. I think Weavile actually gets Metal Claw too, so I could go ahead and just bust that out and knock out Alolan Ninetales in one hit. And obviously it can go ahead and run a Choice Spec set too, that's definitely nothing I can sleep on, but offensively, it really doesn't break through Empoleon at all. Empoleon's going to do super well against it. He has Celesteela right here, which I actually have to face Celesteela again, which I'm really not happy about. The person who had it previously, I believe it was It's D Willy, ended up dropping it for Suicune, who knows why, but and mid ended up picking it up right here, and I have to battle it again, so that's always fun. Although in this particular scenario, it does have to keep like Smackdown or Gravity plus Ground Stab, Earthquake, Lando into mind right here, so I could go ahead and just bring that right here. And yeah, Autotomize is definitely something I do have to keep in mind, as I previously mentioned. Just gotta keep my pivots healthy, like Empoleon, Goodra, whatever I have to bring right here. Necrozma could go ahead and run a sweeper set too. Actually, Necrozma is a better sweeper than Celesteela in my opinion right here. It could run a Rock Polish Weakness Policy, or maybe just Rock Polish Dual Dance with like SD and 2 attacks right here. Psychic plus Dark coverage right here could just completely rip through my team, so I could see Photon Geyser plus Knockoff or Dark Pulse being its coverage of choice right here, depending on whether he goes physical or special. I really got to see right here. He has Mega Blastoise, which Mega Blastoise I could definitely see being a big threat because it does get Aura Sphere for my Empoleon, and I've been bringing Spidef Empoleon a lot, and if he runs Modest Aura Sphere, he can actually go ahead and 2-hit KO Spidef Empoleon, so very big threat right here. Aura Sphere also does go ahead and OHKO my Mega Lopunny right here. Obviously, Water Stab is going to go ahead and pressure my Landorus T. Dark Pulse can go ahead and knock out my Reuniclus, so offensively does a lot, but it really struggles against some of my other bulk, like Shaman and Goodra, so not quite sure whether he's going to opt to bring it or not. He has Darmanitan right here, which Fire Stab is super spammable against my roster, except for Goodra, so if he expects Fizdef Goodra, he can go ahead and U-turn out on that. It's either going to be Choice Band or Choice Scarf in my opinion, but it's really going to struggle against Deontay too, because it doesn't get Steel-type coverage, unfortunately, for mid, so if I just slap a Sugar Berry on Deontay, I can go ahead and take care of that, no problem. He has the Umbreon right here, which Umbreon definitely is a pretty bad defensive wall against my team. SD Lando breaks through it, SD Weavile breaks through it. Thundurus I can just go ahead and run Fightinium Z if that's my thing right here. Mega Lopunny can high jump kick it, although it can protect on the high jump kick, so I do have to time it right. But Umbreon, I don't see coming right here. Chestnut right here could be a Choice Band set, could be a Spike Stacker right here. Either way works. Choice Band, Wood Hammer, would 2-hit KO Fizdef for Uni, so just gotta keep that in mind, of course. And Spike Stack could be annoying, but I do have good hazard control between my Landorus T and Thundurus I, both of which do respond to Chestnut quite nicely. I gotta check whether it gets Stone Edge for my Thundurus, but it's really not going to be doing too much to Landorus. I don't know if it gets Ice Punch or not, but we'll see right here. He has Zapdos, which could be an Agility Sweeper or just a pivot into Landorus T. Same kind of thing with Celesteela. It does have to keep Gravity and Smackdown Landorus T right here into mind in combination with the Ground Stab, so not quite sure what he's going to do. It is probably one of his better Defoggers against me, as it actually has only one. I don't think he has another Defogger. I know he has Rapid Spin Blastoise, but I think that's his only Defogger right here. And then finally he has a Miltank, which Miltank can run a couple of different sets right here. It could be a Spidef Thick Fat variant for McMortar. Deontay, Thundurus, and all them. It could also just go ahead and run like Choppleberry counter from a Mega Lopunny right here, which could be a very big threat, of course, but he might want to save that tech for the playoffs, who knows right here. But yeah, that's going to be his roster. Like I said, not taking it too seriously this week, but let's go ahead and go over my 6 Pokemon. Okay, first Pokemon I have right here is Mincini, my Thundurus, which is running a sub-Nasty Plot variant right here with Thunderbolt and Hidden Power Ice right here. Was basically the best that I could come up with in the time that I had, because I wanted to go ahead and bring a Pokemon that could go ahead and outspeed everything right here, and Thundurus does do that just fine right now. So we have enough speed for his fastest Mon, the Alolan Ninetales, and after our Nasty Plot, we kind of just kill everything. I gotta scout his Scarfer out really well, though. Whether it's Garchomp, Alolan Ninetales, Necrozma, whatever he brings to check this thing, I gotta go ahead and scout that out. This is my quote-unquote win condition, this team, but it's really not that much of a win condition because it has no speed control against opposing Scarfers right here. There is a better win condition, but I really don't want to say it, so like reveal that until playoffs, obviously. So I'm just going to go ahead and rely on this thing this week, and maybe it can go ahead and put in some work right here. And let's go ahead and move on to my second Pokemon. Okay, next up right here I have Brewing my Deontay, which is coming for the first time not as a win condition set actually. I have a Shikaberry pivot right here. I figured since Shikaberry Deontay is super obvious, I figured I would just go ahead and bring it now, since he's going to expect it in the playoffs, obviously. Because it's my one Darmanitan response, I can go ahead and sponge 2 Earthquakes. It can go ahead and take an Earthquake from the Garchomp, although I'd have to keep like Iron Head or Z Iron Tail into mind for sure, so gonna be scary for sure. It is my Stealth Rocker right here. We have Moonblast and Power Gem as our best coverage, and then Toxic right here, just to go ahead and wear down maybe Umbreon, or maybe the Chestnut, Zapdos, whatever he wants to pivot into this thing right here. So should be a good time with Brewing my Deontay right here. And let's go ahead and move on to my third Pokemon. Okay, rounding out the first half of my team right here, I have a pretty phase-def Landorus T right here with enough speed for Mega Blastoise. It has Hidden Power Flank for the Chestnut, but other than that, it's just a good pivot. I do have the Smackdown Earthquake right here, which is really solid against this team, as I said. Covers both the Celesteela and the Zapdos right here, so it should be a fun time. And then, of course, we do have U-Turn right here just as a pivot. I believe I already mentioned that, but it is one of my secondary Darmanitan responses. It can check physical Garchomp to some extent, although with the SD Dragonium Z Outrage, he will be able to go ahead and knock me out. It's checked by Alolan Ninetales. Honestly, Landorus T is not even that strong of a bring right here, but I just figured I would go ahead and bring it on the team, because I want to go ahead and bring it. It actually hasn't done too much this season, and maybe it can go ahead and do something right here. And yeah, I want to go ahead and bring it before playoffs. So we have this right here, and it can go ahead and pivot into a few Pokemon. Let's go ahead and get it right into the second half of the team. Okay, so moving into the second half of this team, I have Gracidia, my Shaman right here, which is running a Spidef set. This is my Mega Blastoise, and so I can go ahead and sponge 2 Ice Beams with Leftovers Recovery, and just Synthesize Up, or Leech Seed, or Seed Flare, whatever I want to do right here. It's nice to have double recovery right here, because I really don't need the coverage at all. I could run Earth Power over Leech Seed just for the Darmanitan, but I figured I could go ahead and pressure that with the Deontay or Landorus T anyway, so that should be fine right here. And it's overall a good pivot against this team. It can go ahead and take 1 hit from the Garchomp and wear that down with Seed Flare. It's actually kind of an Alolan Ninetales response if he's not Specs due to my Spidef investment, so that's kind of good right here too. And yeah, it should be a good bring right here. If I can get some Seed Filler Spidef drops, I can actually go ahead and wear down his walls, being Miltank and Umbreon too. So that could be a good scenario right here. I believe my speed investment is just for Necrozma, so definitely a strong bring right here. Let's go ahead and get right into my second to last Pokemon. So second to last Pokemon I have right here is GoFed T-Sub, my Empoleon, which is actually running a Shikaberry too. It's funny because I actually don't have the Ice Beam on. This is actually my Celesteela response to outside of my Celesteela. If he goes for a win with that, I just roar it out and I will be able to go ahead and deal with that. There is a better Celesteela response, but like I said, I'm not revealing it. This is going to be my Celesteela response this week. I have enough Spidef investment to where if he brings like a Spidef set, or like a specially offensive set, sorry, I can just go ahead and take it on anyway right here, and it is a secondary Stealth Rocker for the team. So while I do have Shikaberry without Ice Beam, which you'd think I want for the Garchomp, I figured just Roar, and then a couple utility moves right here with Knockoff could be better, and yeah, that should be a good time right here. Let's go ahead and get right into my final Pokemon. Okay, and finally my final Pokemon right here. Finally my final Pokemon. That's definitely redundant, but I have Mega Lopunny right here, Dimensions, which is running a Fake Out set. Pretty standard. It's basically like the Smogon set, just with the correct speed tier right here. So I have a 180, which I believe is for the Alolan Ninetales. And then I can go down on Adamant, of course, 68 in the HP right here. Pretty basic Mega Lopunny right here. I was considering making Sub-Encore for like outside of my Celesteela, set up Necrozma or something like that, but I opted not to do that right here. And I figured this set could go ahead and just be fine. So I know I kind of sped through this builder, and the reason for that is I feel as though if I spend too much time talking about this, I'm just going to leak stuff about the matchup I really don't want to. So let's go ahead and just end it off right here. The match will be live in 22 hours, and I'll see you then. Later.